Yo, what's up guys? Yeah, pokeaim here. Today we have another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl moveset video guide on how to use UXIE or UXIE, however you want to pronounce this Pokemon. One of the Lake Trio. We've already covered Azelf in the past, and now we're covering this Pokemon, and then we'll be covering Mesprit. Now if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure you let me know by leaving a like. Also leave suggestions of other Pokemon you'd like to see me cover. I saw a lot of people asking for Swampert, so that's definitely coming up this week. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. I upload 2 or 3 Pokemon videos a day. Except for yesterday because I uploaded a 3.5-hour Pokemon video from a 7-hour stream I was a part of, so I was a little bit tired. So besides that, I upload 2 or 3 Pokemon videos a day. You got Moveset guys, you got Wi-Fi battles, you got Shuttle Lives, you got Pokemon talking videos, tournaments apparently, or I guess are part of it too now. So a lot of stuff. My end of the year goal is 300k, so if you do enjoy, make sure you subscribe. But UXIE, fantastic Pokemon, probably one of the best support Pokemon, one of the most consistent support Pokemon for weather teams, for trick room teams, for balance teams. It's just a fantastic Pokemon. This Pokemon is typically seen running Leftovers, Cobra Berry, Lumberry, and that's usually it, or a support rock, right? That's like a heat rock or a damp rock. That's basically it when it comes to UXIE. Sometimes you might even see a life orb on it if the Pokemon or the person's a little bit wild. So the first set we have is the support UXIE set. This is Stealth Rock support. This is nice. Maybe your team is weak to fighting types, like Hitmonlee, because this Pokemon is in the RU tier, right? So if you actually look at the RU tier right here, the Cobra Berry allows you to take like knockoff from Absol, and you do, excuse me, this is the, I said, excuse me, what? Okay, UXIE. Cobra Berry lets you take like a knockoff from Absol, even a +2 knockoff, and your U-turn will do a nice chunk, especially after the Life Orb or Stealth Rock. It's just basically allowing you to check dark types with a secondary, just a secondary way of checking dark types, right? So even Houndoom's Dark Pulse, you'll be able to tank and hit it with a Thunder Wave. That's the idea behind this set, right? It tanks the physical fighting types from the tier. It can tank most physical hits from the tier. It can get up Stealth Rock. It can U-turn out to teammates to keep up momentum, and it can Thunder Wave the opponent. You could also use Memento on this set if you really wanted to over Thunder Wave, just because, potentially setting up a Memento on, let's say, a Houndoom, right? And we're playing the RU tier. If Kingdra is still RU, which I believe Kingdra is because there shouldn't be any bans that happen just yet. Yep. Or maybe not Kingdra, but maybe like a Belly Drum Linoon are good partners, right? Because if you have Memento over Thunder Wave and you Memento a fighting type or a dark type like Houndoom or Absol, potentially Kingdra could set up a Rain Dance or Dragon Dance. Linoon might be able to Belly Drum up depending on the Pokemon you Memento. So those are good partners, right? If you use Memento, set up sweepers like that, Venomoth, Kingdra, Linoon, fantastic partners. Charizard can work too, even just on special ones. But we'll talk more about Charizard being a good partner in a little bit. But basically the idea is just to support the team, right? You get Stealth Rock, Psychic just to check. Oh, that's why I have Psychic. Duh, what am I saying? Yeah, it should be this. Because the U-turn doesn't have to do too much, but Psychic should be at least 2 at KOing, right? Your U-turn is just mainly there for momentum, not necessarily for damage. So yeah, basically using UXIE as a more support type Pokemon. Again, setup sweepers are really good. This is good on balance too. Like I like UXIE plus Rhyperior because I feel like if you put rocks on UXIE, that frees up Rhyperior to use more offensive options. So that's the first set we have. Next up we have Sunny Day support, right? So obviously this would work on Sun teams. This is something you'd pair with your Charizard with Solar Power. If you're crazy like me, Sunflora, you have your Leafeon, you have your Victory Bell, right? You have your Tangrowth depending on the tier. So the idea behind this is you go for Sunny Day, you have the Heat Rock, which activates most turns of Sunny Day, right? You get 8 turns of Sunny Day instead of 5 turns of Sunny Day. And then it also provides Stealth Rock support for your team. And then U-turn just to get into your Sun Sweepers. And also Yawn. Now Yawn is interesting. Yawn can be Memento if you really want to. I like Yawn a little bit more on Sun just because I feel like the Sun Sweepers aren't as bulky as the Rain Sweepers, right? Like Kingdra has really good bulk, but then like the Sun Sweepers like Charizard and stuff, they're already weak to rocks. And Kingdra can take most hits just because it's a Water Dragon, right? It's weak to Fairy and Dragon, that's it. And I guess Freeze Dry too. But on Sun, I like a Yawn a little bit better because if I go for Yawn on somebody and I already have the Sun up, and then I get momentum because they're either going to stay asleep and I'll usually be slower than them, or they'll switch and I can U-turn out into one of my Chlorophyll setup mons, go for a Growth with maybe like Victory Bell or something and try and sweep, Swords Dance with Leafeon type of thing and try and sweep. So yeah, just using it more as a support one. You can use Yawn, you can use Memento. Again, there's a lot of Pokemon in this tier that really appreciate this. Arcanine's still a good one too, just because it appreciates Sun boosted Flare Blitzes. And then Chlorophyll Blossom can work too if you want to be a little bit more fun. But like I said, Charizard, Casper if you want to have a little bit more fun. But Charizard, Exeggutor, Flareon, basically Pokemon that are either fire types, Pokemon with chlorophyll, or Pokemon just appreciate the fact that sun is up means they take less, right, from fire type attacks. So, excuse me, they take less from water type attacks, excuse me. So, that's why Rapier is actually pretty good on sun too, if you didn't know. But of course, there are other options as well. If you don't want to run max defense, you can run a speedier variant, and this is kind of if you want to be faster than those base 80 Pokemon like Gallade and things around that mark. So you want to be able to, even if they're set up in sweep, right, if they're like +2 and stuff, you want to be really careful, especially if they're Life Orb, because after Stealth Rock, after a little bit of chip, they might be able to knock you out. So you're faster than them, you can go for Yawn, or you can just get your fast Sun up. That way you don't have to worry about them setting up because you'll have your Sun Chlorophyll Sweepers in the back. So again, these are just two options for EV spreads depending on what your team needs. I would test both of them if I were you. And these are just like your basic EV spreads, right? You don't have to go 252, 252. If you find yourself being just barely 2 KO'd by, I don't know, let's say a random move, right? Let's say barely 2 KO'd by, I'm trying to pick a random special attack here. Maybe you want to be like by Modest Specs Electro, right? Just a random special attacker throwing it out there. And if you do 24 special defense, it gets rid of that roll after Stealth Rock. Go for it, right? That's why you use the damage calc. I just try to give you the basic one, the outline, and you can go with it what you will. But yeah. So, of course, if we are using Sun, we got to use Rain. Rain is the exact same thing. I like Memento a little bit more on Rain just because the Rain Sweepers, in my opinion, are a lot more threatening, right? And the reason I say that is because the Rain Sweepers, the Water-type Pokemon, have water-boosted attacks, right? Whereas the Chlorophyll Pokemon do not have fire. Well, they do have fire-boosted attacks, but they're not Chlorophyll, right? They're either fire types with fire-boosted attacks or the grass types without any boost in it per se. So I like Memento a little bit more because I feel like Rain is more hyper-offensive than Sun, even though they're both offensive playstyles. And, you know, the sooner I get up Rain Dance, the sooner I get up Stealth Rock, the sooner I get up Rain Dance, and the sooner I Memento the Kingdra, I can click Specs Hydro Pump 5 times and win the game type of thing, right? I can get in Banded Kabutops or Life Orb Kabutops and click those waterfalls or whatever. I can get a Sharpedo. So I'm giving you also a lot of good partners as well. Obviously, Quillfish, Kingdra, Kabutops, Sharpedo, all excellent partners for Rain teams, right? Because you want Rain Sweepers. That's what Rain is. Ludicolo, right? So, again, more defensive on this one. I like Memento a lot more than Yawn on Rain. I think Rain teams are just naturally faster, and the games are faster too. And that's also because, at least on Sun teams, I mean, this is just something I noticed in my years of play. You know, you have Pokemon with Giga Drain potentially, so they can actually last longer just because they're constantly healing themselves, right? Whereas Rain teams are just hitting hard and, you know, taking you home. But of course, there are versions of Rain teams like with Fiona and Volbeat that I've used myself that last long too, depending on the game. And of course, again, you have the fast one versus the more, excuse me, you get the fast one versus the more support one. So we do have more. As you can see right here, we have a Trick Room variation of UXIE. UXIE is one of the better Trick Roomers as well, just because it's very slow. Well, it's actually not very slow, but it's very bulky. And if you want to relax nature's zero speed IVs, it's decently slow too. So, Menta Herb is one of the preferred items. You can use Lumberry for sleep moves, like Sleep Powder and Spore. If you're playing an OU, I like Lumberry a little bit more than Menta Herb, just because there's not too many taunters in OU. Yeah, there are some, like Azelf and Aerodactyl, but I think they're a little bit more, like they're not like on every other team to the point where I think you need taunt. For Menta Herb is just basically there for taunt. It's just to guarantee Trick Room. Trick Room is one of the more annoying things to use in my opinion. Simply because there's no way to extend it, right? We don't have a Trick Room extender. Maybe one day we will, but that might be too broken for VGC. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. But yeah, so it's Trick Room, Stealth Rock, Memento, and U-Turn. You don't have to put U-Turn there. You can put, well, back in the day you'd put Magic Coat, but it doesn't have Magic Coat at the moment. But you can put a screen. U-Turn's just for if you don't want to Memento immediately because you can Memento later. Sunny Day also works on over U-Turn too if you're using like Trick Room Sun with like Torkoal and Sunflora, with Solar Power Sunflora. But yeah, max defense, max HP. You can use Lumberry and Cobra Berry over Menta Herb if you really want to. And again, you're going to pair this with Trick Room Pokemon, right? Ursaring is a fantastic Pokemon on the Trick Room. Crawdon's a fantastic Pokemon on the Trick Room. Marowak is a fantastic Pokemon on the Trick Room. Specs Torkoal, a fantastic Pokemon on the Trick Room. Just Pokemon like that are slow, hit really hard, and appreciate being faster for several turns. So that's basically how you use UXIE. This is also usually paired like UXIE, Cresselia type of thing. So one can Memento, the other can Lunar Dance. They pair really well together. And then we have more offensive variants of UXIE. So the first one we have is Subcombine. Now I made it just faster than base 80s. Oh, excuse me. I actually didn't. Oops, sorry. I just realized my mistake right there. I was thinking of Digger's Beef for whatever reason. It's not even in the game. Alright, so now I made it faster than base 80s in the tier, right? So Pokemon in this tier that I would like you to be faster than, well, Jolly Absol, you're already faster than with this. Gallade is something you're also faster than now, which I really like. Glalie, even though it's not as important. And just basically like Gallade, like and Kabutops and stuff like that. Threatening Pokemon that hit hard, and I wanted to be able to be faster than that, right? And you have this entire speed tier like Metacham type of thing. You're faster than Mesprit naturally as well, though that may or may not matter. So the idea behind Subcombine is that UXIE is already oh, thank you. TrueGreen7 just DM me. If you guys don't know Ron, a lot of people always say me and Ron sound the same. Hey guys, Ron here, because I can make myself sound like him, but we have very similar voices. He's an awesome dude. And yeah, so the idea is you're really bulky, right? And it's a lot harder for fighting types to beat you right now. So I wanted to make sure you're faster than the strongest fighting types in the tier, like Gallade and Mesprit. So you can Subcombine, and as you get the boosts, you'll be able to power through them with Psychic and Dazzling Gleam. The reason I have Dazzling Gleam is just for coverage versus Dark type. Super effective hits on Absol that I like, because you already have Substitute to avoid the Sucker Punch. And if you're boosted, you're going to be able to knock it out anyway, like at +2. You'll definitely be able to knock it out. And so max HP is just for overall bulk. The rest put into defense obviously lets you take those close combats easier than you normally wouldn't be able to. But if you do not want to run Dazzling Gleam on this, just for the Dark type coverage, which is fair, other options are Giga Drain. Giga Drain can work for recovery as well behind a sub. I like Leftovers for longevity as well. Again, sub also lets you avoid status, but Giga Drain can be cool for recovery. Also decent, you know, it's really strong versus Rhyperior and Gastrodon and things like that, just bulky waters in general. So Giga Drain is an option. Another option is Thunderbolt if you want to hit those bulky waters harder. But yeah, I like Dazzling Gleam just for the ability to hit dark types like Spiritomb and stuff like that. And of course, the other set is Combine Rest. Now, instead of using Substitute, you want to have that, you know, guarantee longevity. Now, Rest, remember, if you go for Rest, you're asleep for 2 turns. You can't do anything for that. You could put Sleep Talk if you want to Combine, Psychic, Sleep Talk, and Rest. But I do like, again, Dazzling Gleam on this set because your max defense, max HP, so you can easily take like a knockoff from Absol. And as long as it's not boosted, right? You can easily take a knockoff from Absol. And if you are +1, you know, they take Stealth Rock and everything, they take Life, or they'll die to Dazzling Gleam. Absol doesn't have the best defenses. So, allows you to do that. If you do not want to run Leftovers on this, you can run Chestoberry. You could also do Lumberry, but the problem with Lumberry is UXIE's probably going to get status anyway. You know, if something has Toxic, not a lot of things have Toxic right now, but if something has Toxic, it's going to go for it. Oh, that's another thing. Like, this lets you, if you run Giga Drain, you'll beat Unaware Quagsire easier too. But Lumberry, you know, it's going to activate on any status, right? Whereas Chestoberry only activates on Rest. So that can give the, you know, the Chesto Resto, the automatic wake up. And the cool thing is also, obviously, when you go for that, you've lost your item, which means knockoff will be doing less to you because you don't have an item. So that's also an option for UXIE. But again, if you do not want to run Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, Energy Ball, Giga Drain are always options as well. I like the Subcombine, and I like this set as well with Toxic Spike support. Drapion is a cool Toxic Spike supporter. You have Ariados as well. I believe Ariados still has access to Toxic Spike right now. I just know Drapion for sure does. Not to say that Drapion is in this tier though, because Drapion is UU, but if you're playing UU, you can do that as well. Fortress. Just Toxic Spike support, right? That's just amazing for it. Oh, got the Queen right here. So, yeah, that allows you to do that with UXIE. And of course, UXIE also has access to Nasty Plot. So while this Pokemon doesn't have the best special attack, I think Nasty Plot's pretty cool because you can definitely pick up some surprise KOs. So the set is Nasty Plot, Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, and Grass Knot. Grass Knot mainly to you pick up the KO on Rhyperior at +2, which I think is really big, especially because you're not as defensive as you normally could be. So a banded Mega Horn is going to hurt you. Of course, if you don't want to do Leftovers for longevity, you can do Cobra Berry. Cobra Berry is definitely appropriate on this set too because this one is more susceptible to Absol's Sucker Punch. So, you know, you're already going to be able to KO with Dazzling Gleam, so Cobra Berry can work. Psychic is your main stab. It doesn't have Psyshock at the moment, unfortunately, otherwise you'd do that. And then you, again, have that Grass Knot just for, you know, Rhyperior mainly, also hitting like Steelix for the most damage possible from this Pokemon. Again, this is a really like surprise KO, so like it's cool because you can actually pair this with other psychics like Jinx and stuff in the tier, because this, if it's running a Cobra Berry, can get rid of the dark types that Jinx fears. And can allow that Pokemon, even with a Scarf, to do something too. Frostlass is also another good partner with this, mainly because it can get up spikes as a lead, and it can Destiny Bond certain Pokemon too. So that's just another way you can use UXIE. And then last but not least, we have dual screens. Typically, Azelf does this in higher tiers, and then Mesprit can also do it in really lower tiers, but then you have the in-between tiers, which is where UXIE can do it. You have enough speed, it's really fast for whatever reason, and you have the max HP, and then basically you just get up Reflect and Light Screen for your team, and you pair this with a whole bunch of setup sweepers, right? Belly Drum Linoon, Dragon Dance Kingdra, Rain Dance Kingdra, Quiver Dance Venomoth, Agility, Moltres, Work Up, Tauros, like, basically, just any setup sweepers you want, this is where you do it. Because the idea behind this is you get up rocks, you get up screens, you bring out one of your members. Now, you don't have to use a U-turn if you don't want to. You can definitely use Memento. Memento will allow you to also, not only are the opposing Pokemon hitting, less hard because screens are up, but Memento weakens them even more than what your Light Screen Reflect was already doing to their attacks. So that way, your Pokemon you bring up, your Dragon Dance for Alligator, whatever, is just able to set up even better. Right? That's something that differentiates UXIE versus Azelf. Azelf can explode. UXIE cannot, but UXIE can go for Memento, allowing easier time for setup sweepers. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys today. This was definitely a longer video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe. I have the next episode of the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Road to Top 10 going up later today. Also, if you missed my 3.5-hour video yesterday, it was a full tournament run. It was Pokemon Challenges, first ever invitational, and I played people like Ludwig, I played Wolfie, I played Purple Cliff, Patters, and Pokemon. Well, those are the guys I played. So I was like people like, but no, those are the exact people that I played. And it was a really, really intense run. And I definitely showed a lot of passion, salts, happiness, whatever, because, I love the game. But yeah, if you guys missed that, make sure you go ahead and check that out. I think that's a great video. You can literally watch my entire run. I cut out all the in-between. I just put all the games. And yeah, it was like 7-hour stream. It became 3.5-hour video. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.